Tonight on CTV News, Seeking Justice.
I had no idea that there were any other victims. The only victim I knew was me.
A sex assault victim speaks at the sentencing of a former recovery home worker who preyed on vulnerable women also.
We've had 70 extortions. It is frightening in the city of Surrey right now.
Battling extortion crime, Surrey's mayor calls for a big boost in police resources, who she's asking to pay for it. And
I'm glad I get an extra hour of sleep.
The days are getting even shorter. Are you ready for the end to daylight saving time?
This is CTV News with Michelle Brunoro.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Mi Jung is off tonight. As a judge decides how much time a former recovery home worker will spend behind bars for sexually assaulting two vulnerable women, one of his victims is speaking out. She's talking exclusively to CTV News about the assault she endured 13 years ago and why she isn't allowing that trauma to define her. CTV's Shannon Patterson has more.
13 years ago, I was sexually assaulted in my sleep by Adam Haber.
This woman, whose identity is protected by the courts, is one of two victims. Former recovery house worker Adam Haber has been convicted of sexually assaulting. In 2012, she was 60 days sober and needed a place to stay, and says people at Westminster House, a recovery center for girls and women, recommended Haber's home.
He had told me that he would be sleeping on the couch and I would be sleeping in his bed, and in the middle of the night, he entered the room, and that's where the assault took place.
When she reported the assault to police, she thought she was the only one.
At the time, 13 years ago, I had no idea that there were any other victims. The only victim I knew was me.
But other women came forward with similar stories, and this past February, Haber was convicted of 2 counts of sexual assault.
I've been dreaming this for 13 long years, and I was overjoyed, but I was also a little bit suspicious of if he's actually going to get jail time and what those repercussions are, because in the past 10 months since he's been convicted, he's been walking the streets as a convicted sex offender with 0 consequences.
On Friday, she read a victim impact statement as part of Haber's sentencing hearing at New Westminster Supreme Court.
I wasn't scared. I was actually feeling quite empowered about being there today, knowing that this person will get his sentence.
In a joint submission to the judge, Crown and defense recommended Haber be sentenced to a total of 3 years in prison for both sexual assaults. Do you think 3 years is sufficient for what he did to you and the other victim?
Well, I know that the maximum sentence for one sexual assault is 7 years, and that would always be my hope that he would get 7. I would hope that he gets as much jail time as he's humanly possible.
She wants Haber to know the assault did not define her. She's a personal trainer now and hopes her story empowers other women.
If this were to ever happen to anybody else, all I can plead with you is to go to the police in a timely manner and do not give up.
Adam Haber will be sentenced on November 7th. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, New Westminster.
A 29-year-old woman has died after a crash that shut down Highway 1 for several hours last night. Emergency crews were called to the 2-vehicle crash near Popcom between Chilliwack and Hope just before 7 p.m. Images from the scene show a white SUV with significant front-end damage and a black sedan facing the opposite direction. A passenger in the sedan was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver, a 65-year-old man, was seriously injured and airlifted to hospital. 3 others were taken to hospital by ambulance. The cause of the crash is under investigation, but the BC Highway Patrol says criminality is not being ruled out. Turning to Surrey now, where the South Asian community has been plagued by extortion threats and shots fired at their homes and businesses. The city's mayor is now calling on both the federal and provincial governments to step up. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has the story.
Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke fighting through tears as she talks about the turmoil her city is facing.
We are getting far too many people that are having to deal with gunshots in their homes.
Locke is calling for 150 additional police officers from the RCMP and the Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit to tackle the ongoing shootings targeting business owners in the city.
The Minister of Public Safety is the top cop in British Columbia. It is her job to make sure this all happens for us.
She met with Provincial Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger Thursday to discuss the issue. Krieger now writing to the Federal Minister of Public Safety urging action. The province is calling on more RCMP federal policing officers, federal dollars for victim supports, and any federal intelligence coordination.
This is a nation problem, and we need to have that integrated approach to ensure that this gets dealt with quickly.
Annis applauds the mayor's request, but says the people of Surrey need action now.
We can't be continuing to write letters back and forth. We need to deal with this issue, and we need to deal with this issue now.
Locke says 40 people have had bullets coming through their doors, including various South Asian celebrities. Just this week, CTV News learned Punjabi singer Johnny Nuthin's home was shot at, with the Bishnoi gang claiming responsibility on social media.
Too often we use the language South Asians. It is Canadians that are being extorted. The people that may be doing the crime are maybe not Canadians. I would venture to guess they are not.
In a statement to CTV News, Public Safety Minister Ananda Sangari says he shares Locke's concerns, but increasing police resources falls under the jurisdiction of the RCMP. He adds Ottawa has listed the gang as a terrorist entity. But Locke hopes the feds step up so people can sleep at night.
They're sending their kids out of not only out of Surrey, out of the province.
Yasmin Gandham, CTV News, Surrey.
A Port Moody man has been charged with second-degree murder and indignity to human remains in connection to the disappearance of Chantel Moore. 31-year-old Trenton Hennenberg was arrested today and remains in custody. Family reported Moore missing last November after not hearing from the 30-year-old for an extended period of time. IHIT took over the investigation in December after new information suggesting her disappearance was suspicious. Police believe Hennenberg and Moore knew each other and that her death was not a random incident. Transit police have arrested a man after the disturbing sexual assault of a teenage girl at a Surrey bus stop. The alleged incident, which you might find upsetting, happened in June. And police say despite the arrest, they want more bystanders to come forward. CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports.
Police say the 16-year-old victim was just waiting for a bus here at the Scottsdale Exchange when the suspect allegedly approached her and conducted a series of disturbing acts.
He engaged conversation with her, even despite knowing her age. She told him she was 16. He allegedly tried to kiss her and then sexually assaulted her and exposed his genitals to her.
Police say two women stepped in and intervened and the man ran away. It happened on June 28th, but police say after a longer investigation, the man who's in his late 30s was arrested a few weeks ago and released with conditions. Investigators are still hoping to speak with the two women who stepped in to help strengthen the case, while also commending the girl for coming forward.
Often sexual assaults are unreported. They are very unreported because sometimes victims feel nervous or they feel guilty, and we just ask that if something like this has happened to you or you've witnessed something like this, to reach out to transit police.
Police say they are now preparing a report to Crown Counsel and will be recommending a single charge of sexual assault. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Surrey.
More charges have been laid against the woman accused in a string of violent attacks in Vancouver's Yaletown neighborhood earlier this month. 35-year-old Tamara Hamlin was previously charged with 1 count of assault in connection with a series of stabbings near David Lamb Park on October 10th. Prosecutors have since approved 1 additional charge of assault and 4 counts of assault with a weapon. Hamlin remains in custody pending her next court appearance. Following major scrutiny of its spending and handling of major projects, Metro Vancouver has passed a pared-down budget. CTV's Martin McMahon has more, including reaction from local politicians who voted against it.
Metro Vancouver has come under significant focus and criticism in recent years, with questions over director compensation and major cost overruns at the North Shore wastewater treatment plant.
It's been recorded, it passes.
And now it's passed a slimmed-down budget for 2026. That means households will see a 2.5% fee increase next year, as opposed to the 5% initially projected.
This is brings to conclusion a long year of going through our processes, looking through every department and going line by line through the budget.
But while Metro Vancouver has found savings, its chair doesn't feel this budget falls under the austerity label.
I don't know if I would describe it as austerity because it still allows us to complete the important projects that we need to complete. But it certainly is a budget that is at a place that lets us do that and no more.
But the budget didn't pass unanimously, with a small number of directors voting no.
Approving an annual budget sounds fine for the number, but we're not addressing those systemic issues that absolutely need to be addressed. I've been talking about this for 6 years, and we just can't. We know what the cost drivers are. We know what the external forces are that are driving some of these costs.
I understand we've cut $1.2 billion off the budget in capital and $364 million in operating over 5 years. Some would call those rounding errors. We need to pull back.
Hurley took the criticism in stride following the vote.
It's been a very difficult process, and as you can see, not everyone always agrees on everything, and that's democracy.
Ultimately, Hurley says this slimmed-down budget doesn't mark a cultural shift for Metro Vancouver, but is simply an approach designed for the challenging economic times. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Burnaby.
Here we go again, the end of daylight saving time, meaning clocks fall back this weekend. BC voted years ago to do away with the semi-annual switch, but will it ever really happen? Coming up, why some still say it's about time, but first. You are looking at a live shot of a rainy Burrard Street on this soggy Halloween night. So wet out there, hey, for all the trick-or-treaters.
Yes.
You guys look ready to go out tonight.
That's why we're staying inside.
Oh, but your flowers and bees and sunshine.
Yes, exactly. We need the rain, which is why we're dressed up as a flower and a bee. But yes, very soggy, especially for the little ones who went out earlier. We still have a rainfall warning in effect for Metro Vancouver, Howe Sound, stretching to Whistler and east towards the Fraser Valley and Manning, 50 to 80 by the time everything is done tomorrow afternoon. So yes, make sure you have umbrellas and garbage bags, everything for trick-or-treating tonight. We expect it to end later on, but it redevelops through the overnight with winds to about 30 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow will start off wet. Once again, it does dry up through the afternoon with some sunshine and a high of 11.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
And November is looking very typical. I've got your full forecast coming up.
I remember so many soggy Halloweens out with my kids. I think now, if I look back, I'd probably just buy a big box of candy and
stay home.
Just stay home. Yeah,
that's smart.
All right, talk to you soon. Well, get ready to turn back time, literally. Clocks fall back 1 hour on Sunday as we return to standard time. While scrapping the twice-a-year ritual is still up for debate, CTV's Kevin Chirac has some expert advice on beating those darker day blues.
It's that time of year.
I don't like it much.
With Sunday marking the return to standard time.
I'm glad I get an extra hour of sleep.
But a new survey from ND suggests that bonus hour doesn't always help. Many say they end up feeling anything but rested.
Even though they're excited about getting more sleep, they actually feel a lot more tired when the clocks are turning back. About 30% of them are feeling, less motivated. 27% are struggling to maintain those healthy habits and routines.
And sleep experts say data shows more serious health impacts for some.
There's more admission in hospitals for depression, for example.
Still, he says standard time is the healthier option, more in sync with the sun, our sleep, and our body clock.
It's clear for everything that deals with the health, it's much better to have standard time.
But switching can be a challenge. A big key to tackling time-changing blues, a solid sleep strategy.
As soon as tonight, what you can do is start shifting your bedtime a little bit later. So maybe go to bed 15 to 20 minutes later tonight, go to bed 15 to 20 minutes, later tomorrow night. And on Sunday, when you wake up, though, keep your wake time anchored, okay? So wake up at the same time.
She adds limiting electronic devices before bed and when you wake up, and getting outside in the morning daylight also can help. With darker days and longer nights ahead, experts say drivers should also take extra care.
So just make sure you have those headlights on and your wipers are working properly, as well as your tires are properly inflated.
Earlier this month, a Liberal MP reignited the time change debate, announcing a bill to scrap daylight saving time for good. In 2019, BC voted to switch to permanent daylight time, but only if and when Washington State, Oregon, and California did the same.
I think in the long run, it will probably be more beneficial for a lot of people to not keep track of when the time changes.
Clocks move back 1 hour Sunday at 2 a.m. with sunset in Vancouver that day set for 4:48 p.m. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Prime Minister apologizes to Donald Trump for the Ontario government's anti-tariff ads. But will this spark new trade talks? That's coming up. But first, a hunter's rushed to hospital in Calgary after being mauled by a grizzly. What we're learning about the attack and the victim when CTV News continues. Stay with us. An Alberta community is rallying together in support of a local hockey coach who was critically injured by a grizzly bear while hunting west of Calgary. CTV's Mark Villani has the story.
Alberta Fish and Wildlife officers are closing off this area, chaining it up as part of an investigation into a serious grizzly bear attack.
When these types of incidents occur, it definitely hits everybody within the community.
Stars Air Ambulance responded around 1 p.m. Thursday, airlifting a man in his 30s to Foothills Hospital in critical condition. Officials say he was mauled by a grizzly bear while hunting with a friend. The incident unfolded 30 kilometers west of the city near Township Road 242. The grizzly was shot dead by his hunting partner, but a second bear fled the area following the attack. The survivor is Jesse Sayre, an avid hunter, but also the vice president of the Carstairs Minor Hockey Association, described as a loyal volunteer, a longtime coach and mentor.
He's currently coaching 2 of his kids' teams and helping out wherever possible. And the Sayre family in general is just such a foundation of our community.
The incident comes just days after 63-year-old British Columbia hunter Joe Pendry succumbed to his injuries following a grizzly bear attack. Bear experts say Albertans need to stay vigilant as grizzlies reclaim prairie habitats.
We can still have some of those large male grizzly bears out on the landscape all the way into November and even early December.
Other potential, points of conflict this time of year relate to bears and their incessant pursuit of food, especially as they're leading into the denning season.
Meanwhile, those who work nearby call this a reminder for everyone to be aware of their surroundings.
Hunting is obviously something that I am in support of. I love it, but it's also we have a responsibility to remain vigilant in those spaces.
We've had the grizzly bear plan working here for I think 10 or 12 years, and it's working. The grizzly population is growing.
Sayre's condition is now upgraded to non-life-threatening, and as devastating as this incident was, his entire community is rallying around his recovery.
If there's one thing we know about Jesse is he will battle through that, and we'll see him back out on the ice hopefully soon enough.
The Supreme Court of Canada is set to decide next week on whether to hear a last-ditch appeal against an ordered cull of ostriches at a BC farm. Among the leave applications that'll be ruled on next Thursday is Universal Ostrich Farm's challenge of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's order to cull the flock after an avian flu outbreak was detected late last year. If the court decides not to hear the case and lifts the stay on the cull, there will be no legal impediment to the killing of hundreds of birds on the Edgewood farm. However, if leave to appeal is granted, a final decision on the fate of the flock would come after a hearing. A Vancouver Halloween tradition for many families is coming to an end. The All Souls event at Mountain View Cemetery has been cancelled. According to the City of Vancouver, the cemetery began a review of the city's role in supporting the event in 2023. Along with rising costs, it found it can no longer fund programming at the site, including All Souls. The city says while they look for other funding options, the community can continue the tradition in their own way by visiting the cemetery tonight. Is Canada's relationship with China at a turning point?
Distance is not the way to solve problems.
The outcome of Prime Minister Mark Carney's meeting with China's president, and what's next? Prime Minister Mark Carney said Canada's relationship with China is at a turning point following his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Carney met Xi on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Their talks concluded with an invitation for a state visit. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
The face-to-face hosted by China marked the first time in 8 years that a Canadian and Chinese leader met officially. Mark Carney expressed regret for lost time.
Distance is not the way to solve problems, not the way to serve our people with people-centric growth, as you have advocated. Pragmatic and constructive engagement is.
The meeting lasted 39 minutes. According to a readout from the Prime Minister's office, the leaders discussed trade issues, including agriculture, canola, seafood, and electric vehicles. There's no deal, but there's dialogue.
We now have a turning point in the relationship.
The freeze in relations began in 2018 after Canada arrested Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou at the request of the U.S. In response, China detained Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig. Then in 2022, Xi scolded former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in front of cameras. Analysts say recalibrating with China must be done carefully.
Mr. Carney will be able to have firm views on difficult issues related to human rights, religious freedom, and so on, while at the same time saying, let's discuss how we can work together.
We are going to have to play our own game with China based on our own interests and our own ambitions.
This was the second time Carney has met Xi. Previously, they met in 2016 when he was governor of the Bank of England. There will be a third meeting, too. Xi Jinping has invited Carney to China for a state visit. Judy Trin, CTV News, Gyeongju, South Korea.
Donald Trump says the Prime Minister has apologized for the Ontario government's anti-tariff ad that prompted the U.S. president to halt trade talks with Canada.
I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But you know what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial because it was a false commercial.
Trump also increased tariffs on Canada by 10% in response to the commercial. It featured former U.S. President Ronald Reagan saying tariffs hurt every American in a 1987 radio address. Meanwhile, Trump said no when asked today if he was planning to restart trade negotiations with Canada. The Alberta government has been meeting with BC First Nations as it pushes ahead with plans for a pipeline to the West Coast. The province announced earlier this month it would lead the application for a crude pipeline to northwestern BC. It's teaming up with private partners to suggest a route and figure out costs. Alberta is also working with Indigenous leaders for support and equity in any future project. More than a dozen groups have been talked to, and Alberta's Indigenous Relations Minister has also visited 5 communities so far.
I think the encouraging thing to focus on is that there's not outright opposition unanimously. There is support because communities are seeing, like Haisla First Nation, for example, they're involved in Cedar LNG. There is an understanding that these kinds of resource projects bring significant benefit.
But the president of Coastal First Nations, where a proposed pipeline could go through here in BC, says it strongly opposes the plan. The group says it is a firm no on crude pipelines and oil tankers along the coast. The BC Forestry Summit will get underway in Vancouver on Monday. The meeting will bring together the premier, federal ministers, and industry leaders to discuss the impact of U.S. softwood tariffs and support for BC's forestry sector. The province says its goals are to continue pushing Ottawa to secure support for the workers, contractors, and businesses impacted by what it calls the unfair and unlawful tariffs announced by Donald Trump. Coming up, a Halloween event in Cloverdale that's about more than spooky characters.
Doing this in honor of Chase would mean everything to our son.
The display dedicated to the memory of a teen who loved Halloween but was killed in an officer-involved shooting earlier this year. After 16 years of scares, a Surrey family's beloved haunted house is marking its grand finale this Halloween. But this year's event in Cloverdale carries special meaning. It's dedicated to a local teen who loved Halloween and whose memory continues to inspire his community. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa reports.
What started as a small display has grown into one of Cloverdale's most well-known Halloween traditions.
We're looking at a spectacular event we do every year. This is our 16th and final year.
The massive effort has raised close to $100,000 for BC Children's Hospital over the years.
My kids have grown, and it takes 2 months to build for 4 hours of entertainment.
This finale is deeply personal.
This year we decided to go with Chase because he had volunteered with us a couple years and loved Halloween.
His neighbor, 15-year-old Chase de Ballenhard, lived for Halloween, often dressing up year-round. He, too, was an avid supporter of Children's Hospital.
Oh, he touched our hearts. You know, he was always that kid, right? Like, everybody loved Chase.
And now, his photos fill the haunted house he once helped bring to life.
Doing this in honor of Chase would mean everything to our son.
Get out!
I wish all my actors took it as serious as he did because he brought it every time.
The de Ballenhards say the outpouring of support has been overwhelming and comforting as they continue to grieve the loss of their only son.
It was extremely heartwarming.
Emotional.
Very emotional because Chase loved Halloween and he loved the Yarwoods, and his spirit lives on through these community events.
Chase was shot and killed in an officer-involved shooting nearly 9 months ago. His case is still subject of an ongoing police watchdog investigation.
We don't want Chase to be forgotten.
These are things that keep his memory alive.
For the Yarwoods and for this neighborhood, it's more than a haunted house. It's a reminder of how one boy's light continues to shine, even in the dark. Reagan Hasegawa, CTV News, Surrey.
Nice.
It's the spookiest night of the year, but it also feels like the soggiest. The rain doesn't seem to be a deterrent, though, for kids who have their sights set on getting that candy. CTV's Brianne Foey joins us live from East Vancouver. And Brianne, how's it looking out there tonight?
Well, Michelle, the rain has let up a little bit, but nothing was going to be stopping kids, young and old, from coming to this corner house on Copley Street. This is a must-hit every single year, and that is because Wee Wong put so much work and time into creating this illusion. You start at the front, you go through a tour into the backyard, you even pass by some zombies on your way out, and of course you collect that coveted candy along the way. Now, I spoke with some trick-or-treaters, and they said no matter the rain, they're happy to be out here, although there was one little girl who was kind of not feeling the weather, but she was happy that she was able to go through that house. Michelle?
I can understand where that little girl's coming from. All right, thanks so much for that. Stay dry. All right, and Anne joins us now with a look at weather. Okay, so you're inside, you're comfortable, but how long is this rain going to stick around for?
Well, we're starting to see it dry up right now for the older trick-or-treaters, which is great news. Too bad for the younger ones, unfortunately. So there is that front that is moving its way through, and it'll continue to do so as we head into the next couple of days. So we do have this rainfall warning still in effect for Metro Vancouver, the northeast and northwest corners, as well as the Fraser Valley, stretching all the way to Manning, reaching all the way to Howe Sound and Whistler. So again, 50 to 80 millimeters of rain through the overnight, and then we do get a break and then more rain on the way tomorrow. So here's a look at our weather tracker right now. We're starting to see that drying for parts of Metro Vancouver, still very soggy for the northeast corner and the Fraser Valley. Through the overnight into tomorrow morning, that's when it gets soggy once again. It'll be rain heavy at times, and then tomorrow afternoon we do get a little bit of break into the system, but then the next round of wet weather moves its way in tomorrow night, slowly clearing as we head into Sunday. You will see mostly sunny skies for the northeast corner of the province. Your provincial forecast at the bottom bottom of your screen there. Showers tomorrow for Port Hardy. You'll see 10 degrees, 12s for Campbell River and Comox. You'll start off with some rain, dry breaks through the afternoon. That's what you can expect from Port Alberni right down to Victoria. It stays cloudy with showers for Tofino, 12 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, you start off with rain, sun through the afternoon, 10 degrees, but it'll be very wet up the Sea to Sky Highway once again. 10 for Squamish, 7 for Whistler, and for us across the Lower Mainland, we will start off wet for Metro Vancouver. Clears up through the afternoon before it rains again, but it'll stay gray and wet for the Fraser Valley, 10 degrees for Abbotsford and Chilliwack. Don't forget to turn your clocks back an hour before you go to bed Saturday night. Few scattered showers on Sunday. Returning on Monday once again, clearing up on Tuesday. Enjoy it because the rain returns for Wednesday and Thursday into Friday morning before it clears out of the way. Sunny breaks through the afternoon with a high of 11 degrees. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. Michelle, glad we're indoors.
Glad we're indoors. I think Lucy's glad you're indoors. I have to say, she just looked at you the entire time, like completely enamored with every word you were saying.
Because she's a bee and I'm a flower, that's why.
I know, she can't help herself. Thanks for that. Well, coming up, families feeling the affordability squeeze.
Juice is becoming a luxury, something that I'm like, you know, maybe we need to stick to milk and water.
A Delta family's creative living arrangements and the relief they hope next week's federal budget will bring. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up 41 cents, closing the day at $60.98 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost more than $19 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones ended the day higher, up 81 points and 40 points respectively. It's a grueling work schedule, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. The so-called 996 culture is gaining attention worldwide, but many believe it's a recipe for burnout. The 72-hour work week was first popularized in China's tech scene in the 2010s. It has since been banned in the country, but many employees are still working long hours. It has also been embraced by tech startups in Silicon Valley, but experts don't believe it will catch on here.
Over here, where our culture is very different, I think that expectation is quite a dangerous one, especially coming out of the pandemic, where we're getting the countervailing force, which is YOLO, you only live once.
According to the World Health Organization, working more than 52 hours a week can increase the risk of stroke and heart disease. Affordability is one of the big issues expected to be addressed by the Carney government in next week's budget. Tonight we are speaking to Canadians facing rising costs on what would help them the most. CTV's Andrew Johnson has one BC family's unique story.
Crack it open.
In the Higgins household, Mom and her helpers are making sourdough from scratch, trying to save.
The cost is, $4 or $5 a loaf. My kids go through so much bread. So much bread.
And the family of 5 is making tough choices at the grocery store.
Juice is becoming a luxury, something that I'm like, maybe we need to stick to milk and water for the kids.
Ahead of budget day, Caitlin Higgins' ask from Ottawa is a way to pay less.
Gas and groceries, those, they really drain our accounts.
The family is fortunate to own their own home in one of the most unaffordable regions of the country. In fact, 3 generations of the Higgins family live in multiple homes on what used to be one lot. Next door, Caitlin's brother-in-law Patrick is feeling the same pinch.
This morning I went out with my girlfriend. We went to a park and before we got a couple coffees and breakfast. It was like $30.
Patrick is pulling for the feds to forge a quick path toward economic peace with the U.S.
Find a way to smooth that out. And I'm not saying, appease everything that Trump has to say, which is not the answer.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo.
Patrick's parents tore down the rancher they raised 7 children in to build 4 smaller homes and help their kids. They want to see all levels of government help more people do the same.
The federal government could do a lot by giving tax breaks to people that redevelop their own property. We really want young people, not just our own kids, but other young people to have a chance to own a home on the ground where they can put down roots.
Thinking outside the box on housing, cheaper groceries and gas, and a smoother way forward with the U.S. The asks from the Higgins family in North Delta, BC.
Go!
Andrew Johnson, CTV News.
And coming up on this Halloween night, it's considered one of the most haunted buildings in BC.
A lot of unhappy, angry people. And there's just this funny energy that presses up against, well, right now, pressing up against my back.
Our St. John Alexander takes you into the depths of the old prison in New Westminster, where even paranormal experts are uncomfortable. That's still to come, plus creative connection. Adam finds out how Halloween inspired a Nanaimo couple to fall in love. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. On this Halloween, we take you inside what's considered one of the most haunted buildings in the province. Once a prison for the most hardened criminals, it's long been closed. However, there are those who believe some inmates never left. Here's St. John Alexander.
Imposing and intimidating, this fortress is designed to belittle. The Gothic revival with turrets and towers is the grim public face of what was the entrance to New Westminster's notorious Penitentiary. The top floors of the gatehouse are inviting. Glimmering chandeliers still exist, but we were warned as we ventured below, the basement often gives people a fright. Tiny rooms off long, dark corridors that are now used for storage once stored BC's most heinous criminals, holding cells or solitary confinement for armed robbers, murderers, serial killers.
Not a happy bunch, usually a very aggressive bunch, but very violent bunch.
Construction of BC Pen began in 1878, and at one point 765 prisoners were behind its bars, including bandit Billy Miner, who escaped and was never caught. Most of it is long gone, yet it seems some convicts never left.
I know that it has the most paranormal activity, in my opinion, of any location on the west coast of Canada, and probably on the entire west coast.
Check 1, 2. This team has written about or investigated hauntings around the world. They are not easily spooked. And yet, not one of them is comfortable here.
Overwhelming feeling like behind my head that I need to watch out. I'm feeling like there's something, like I need to protect myself.
A lot of unhappy, angry people. And there's just this funny energy that presses up against, well, right now, pressing up against my back.
Are you sure?
The investigators swear that during a prior visit, they captured a recording of a man who was threatening violence.
This was as plain as you talking to me right now.
Then, while alone, Amanda Quill took this photo and was startled by the figures over her shoulder.
Here I know I'm being watched. I know that this is not... Something might come home with us tonight, and I got to be aware of that.
The spirit seekers are passionate about the supernatural, but the moment their interviews were over, they wasted no time making a quick escape. St. John Alexander, CTV News, New Westminster.
Some weird stuff there. All right, to the Calgary Zoo now, where more zoo animals were treated to some Halloween-themed enrichment. The Calgary Zoo's polar bear Isiku was given a large pumpkin that he worked hard to break into, the insides providing a tasty reward. And the musk ox were treated to a pumpkin-themed box filled with leaves. It's all part of the Halloween fun, no tricks, all treats. Well, Adam Sandler might have been seeing double after the Seattle Kraken got dressed up as different characters from his movies for Halloween.
Hey, everybody, you guys look
During tour and made a surprise stop in the NHL team's locker room. Kraken players showed off their costumes that range from many different Sandler films, including Don't Mess with Zohan, 50 First Dates, and Billy Madison. Wow. Oh, that would. Oh, you weren't watching that because, you know, you had other things to do.
Likes the pollen. What can I say?
Well, that's adorable. All right. Well, it is time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. The NFL is bringing the ultimate game day experience to Vancouver. On Sunday, Jackpool Plaza becomes the ultimate football fan zone with games, entertainment, and plenty of prizes you can win. Fans can get up close and personal with the Vince Lombardi Trophy and get exclusive NFL lifestyle merch.
Ooh, very cool.
Right?
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Well, the Pacific Coliseum will be raving this weekend during the Dooms Night Festival. The two-night even will feature electronic, trap, and techno music from Alan Walker and NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal, aka DJ Diesel. The show runs from 6 p.m. until 1 in the morning tonight and again on Saturday. Who knew Shaq was a DJ?
I did not know.
Is there anything he can't do?
Unbelievable.
Well, and if you're not full from Halloween candy, the Metro Vancouver Croissant Crawl is back for its 4th year. Pastry fanatics are invited to go on a choose-your-own flaky adventure of limited edition sweet treats from more than 30 different vendors across Metro Vancouver. Start assembling your best crew of croissant-ivores. That was a tough one. The crawl runs from November 1st to the 16th.
Ooh, sign me up.
Okay, no, this sounds right up my alley.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
we're talking. All right, if you have
any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca.
Wow, okay, I'm still thinking about the food. All right, and just before we get to the Swatsky sign-off, Craig Krause has a look ahead to your late local news.
I sure do. So Halloween is in full swing right now, and many of our viewers are probably getting a knock on the front door as we speak, but we will be tracking the festivities across the province and bringing you the latest on how the wet and soggy night went. Also, if Halloween is not your thing, the Blue Jays are in action tonight, looking to claim their first World Series. In over 30 years, we will have reaction from a downtown Vancouver watch party and highlights at 11:30. Michelle?
Wow, okay, yeah, exciting game for sure. Okay, well, finally, Adam introduces us to a Nanaimo couple whose shared passion for spooky fun turned into a Halloween love story on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Rather than boy meets girl, Nicole and Todd Cameron say their love story began when his Ace Ventura pet detective meets her living dead zombie.
And I didn't talk to him. I basically spewed out blood at him.
And I thought, that is Halloween spirit that I could really get behind.
Later, Todd reached out online and they connected instantly.
It felt as though we found each other as like a childhood playmate.
While their friendship eventually evolved into a romance, their passion for being creative remained constant and culminated with crafting their Halloween costumes in June.
Just like sense of awe and wonder, sense of having fun.
After they exchanged vows during a Back to the Future themed wedding, Todd and Nicole posed for alien themed maternity photos that went viral before welcoming a baby boy just days before Halloween.
We decided on the name Jack because it's Halloween themed, but it's not so Halloween like Ichabod
or their black cat named Boo. Instead, Jack, no relation to a lantern, is free to be whoever he wants for Halloween, followed by his parents creating costumes to complement his.
Our goal as our parents to use imagination and play.
And when Jack spots a shivering Halloween decoration, make sure it's caught on camera when he proudly impersonates it for the first time. Jack's also good at impersonating his dad while decorating their front yard.
And then he backs up on the street and looks back and he'll nod his head and he'll be like, yep, looks good.
And Jack's right. Their home is one of those Halloween houses that people go out of their way to visit. thanks to a collection of classic and contemporary characters that's more fun than frightening.
One of my favorite things is look out the window and to see a young family, like when their eyes are white and the kids are pointing.
Because rather than striving to make their community creepy, like their love story, Nicole and Todd are hoping their Halloween creativity will encourage people to feel connected.
And if you're having fun with your friends and your family, the rest is going to kind of take care of itself.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Nanaimo.
Okay, well, Jack is adorable.
Yeah.
But that couple, they are very committed to Halloween.
Yeah. I hope we do an update just to see how he progresses with his costume situation.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's
Are you
our
dressing up?
costumes?
I know, right? Are
I
you
know,
dressing
we
up
missed it. Well, no, are you?
I'm not. I'm doing the late night, so yeah, kind of
I
inappropriate.
missed out. I didn't think ahead. Only Anne and Lucy thought I had.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nafisa did too.
Yeah, right at the end. You need to put on that witch hat. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot tonight. Yes, happy Halloween from this cute little pumpkin named Sophie. Thanks, Maria, for sending this one in from Vancouver Island. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca. And things look like they're drying, so hopefully more trick-or-treaters will get out and get their candy.
That's great.
All right, for sure. All right, that is all for now. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween.